is Amanda Kelly. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm a miniatures artisan. Miniatures are a type of sculptural art in my eyes. Maybe people see them and think that they're toys, but they're not. It's this weird dynamic of people who do it as a hobby and then people who do it as like a fine art. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle of that. I would definitely consider myself an artist, a miniature artist. The quote on the front of the magazine, I think, relates to my work in that I like to do a more realistic, kind of gritty pieces. So when I do like things that are inspired by Brooklyn or New York City in general, I always add that extra grime element to it because otherwise it'll look way too clean and not realistic. I have a couple pieces I've done that are inspired by New York. I got this HO scale train. It's like a kit for like train layouts. I converted it into a bodega. That was kind of inspired by like the neighborhood I used to live in. When I was a kid, my grandma had a dollhouse that she built in the 80s. And she would allow me to play only in the attic portion of it, and that kind of sparked my interest in miniatures. So I forgot about miniatures for a while until college when I had the funds to buy my own dollhouse kit. I found that the miniatures that were commercially available were not what I was looking for. They were mostly Victorian, or they were toys, not realistic at all. So I started making my own miniatures, things that you just find around your house. And then I got into more kind of risque miniatures that caused a little stir in the community, notably like miniature sex toys and miniature tampons and things that you obviously would have in your house, but you know, you gotta have them in your dollhouse too. And then tools, sometimes I use weird tools that people wouldn't even think of using, like dental tools, or I use like Lego bricks to like, you know, square off edges or something like that. If I was to make a miniature book or a miniature magazine, if I needed to fold the pages, traditionally people would use like a ruler or a bone folder maybe, but that takes too long. So I have this tool and it's called a bending plier, and it's literally made for bending paper. So one thing that I've been doing with my recent miniatures is utilizing my 3D printers. So I design a model on my computer and then I 3D print the parts, and then I have to sand and paint all the parts and put them together. It's just something that, like another tool that I use, just like someone would use a laser cutter or something like that. I feel like the miniature community has grown a lot in the past couple of years, and there's a lot more available now in terms of like, you know, miniature bongs or, you know, miniature weed or something like that. When I first came on the miniature scene, it was very different. I was basically the only miniaturist doing what I was doing, and now there's a whole community of miniaturists who do out-of-the-box, unique type of miniatures. I love the miniature community because there are such a variety of different artists that work in the space, but also a lot of them are older and they have years of experience that I just like soak up like a sponge. A lot of really famous miniaturists have died, so we need the new blood and the new artists to come into the space and make it amazing and keep the shows going and like the community alive.